Before we move on to them May flowers, we gotta talk about those April showers. Hey, what's up, bookworms? Mike back with another book haul, this time for April of 2023. An exciting month. Lots of new additions to talk about to the home library. We're going to do like usual, guys. We're going to kick that off with the ones that I always do say count. That is, of course, digital purchases. You guys didn't notice I got a new Kindle case. Huh? Pretty nice, right? And here's the problem with the old one. Guys have the Kindle Oasis. I've reviewed it several times on the channel. You can't miss it, really. The whole thing about this was they made this big deal about this ergonomic design right here, right? With the old one, whenever you do the case, it covered that up. And you would think, oh, well, this one kind of looks like it does the same thing. No, it has this nice little feature right here. Boom. Is that not the coolest thing ever? Well, anyway, it's like one of those things where like the leather was probably nicer quality on the one that actually came from Kindle. This is clearly faux leather, but it looks really nice. It's kind of heavy. I love the color. It's really cool, but I'm quite happy with it. It also has these handles on the back if you don't want to fold it like that, and you just want to carry it like this, guys. It's just everything that I've been looking for a Kindle Oasis cover ever since I started. It's just so cool. I'm so happy about it. But I did pick up some actual books for the Kindle Oasis this month. First up is The Giver. This is a book series. I talked about my YA series. I think this is Lois Lowry. The thing with The Giver is I know nothing about it, but once I talked about it, everyone's like, oh my God, you haven't read The Giver. Even my wife was like, what, you didn't read that in like junior high? It's one of those things, again, guys, it's like The Outsiders. Just kind of, I'd heard of it. It just kind of slipped between the cracks. Never heard of it quite like on the level of The Outsiders, but it was what I had heard of, but I had no idea how popular it was until I talked about that, YA books I wouldn't mind reading. And that's one I think I'm going to have to go ahead and pick up and read here rather soon. My wife told me I could probably read it in a day. Now that one that I got is actually, I think, 4 books, but right now I'm only interested in reading the original book, and most people have told me it's quite okay if you do just that. There are some people who like the sequels or whatever, but apparently that first book is the one that is very eye-opening and controversial somehow. Can't wait to find out how. When I was watching Silo with my wife last weekend, she did say that she was getting a lot of Giver vibes from Silo. So we shall see, guys. Next up, this one is a series that has kind of been recommended to me here and there. I kind of heard of it last time, or I guess for the first time, a couple of years ago when I first really started getting this channel going. And now Dirk Ashton actually follows me and talks to me on Twitter. So I went ahead and picked up the Paternus trilogy. This is a series, again, I know very little about. I know it's urban fantasy. It's kind of been sold to me as Percy Jackson for adults, and that sounds very cool. I'm reading Percy Jackson with my son right now, and sure, it is very middle grade. I wouldn't mind having a nice new touch with maybe some adult themes or something in there. That might be pretty cool. I don't know if that's an accurate sales job or not. That's just what I have been told, but that's a series that people that have read it I've had very good things to say about it. And of course, Dirk, being such a gentleman and a scholar on Twitter, did enthuse me to pick those up rather soon. So we're trying to get a hold of the physical versions. They're just they're not as easy to get a hold of here in the States as I thought they would be. You know, I believe the first book was a Kickstarter maybe, and so maybe they're just a limited run on some of those. So trying to find a matching set before I pull the trigger on those physically. And the last one, guys, this one is an author I've heard of a few times. Now, Jordan over at iWizard, he sent me book number 1 a while back of Ashes of the Sun by Django Wexler. So I took it to myself to go ahead and pick up his whole series here on digital. This is Burning Blade and Silver Eye trilogy. Don't know a ton about it. I was actually talking to Mr. Wexler on Twitter the other day, and he was saying that it was on May the 4th, and so May the 4th be with you, all that stuff, Star Wars Day. And he was saying that Star Wars obviously was one of the things that inspired him to write this. And we did a quick little back and forth about this book series, and I said, why not? Why don't I go ahead and pick that up? I have heard his name several times, Django, whatever way I'm saying his name, I'm sure I'm probably saying it the most offensive way possible, and I'm sorry. I'm not sure. I'm just going Django because that's how Quentin Tarantino said it, you know? But again, a series, an author I've heard of quite a bit, but I don't know very much about this series. But again, it was one that I do feel like I have seen floating around quite enough in the fantasy community to want to go ahead and give it a shot. And if it truly is a love letter to all things George Lucas original trilogy Star Wars, well, you had my attention and my curiosity. Let's take it back to Django and Shane there. All right, so how about some physical purchases, guys? I only got one this month because it was quite expensive. It was quite expensive. And I already did a short on it in the channel, so you might already know. But I'm talking, of course, about the deluxe editions of Dune Messiah and Children of Dune. And I just went ahead and got the slip sleeve edition because I wanted this awesome slip sleeve case. So I had to buy Dune Deluxe again. If you can see, I already have Dune Deluxe up somewhere above me here. I don't know if it's this way or it's this way. Anyway, I have it somewhere. It might actually be behind me. Anyway, it's up there somewhere. So I do have 2 copies of the original Dune Deluxe now, which is not anything new, guys. I have like 7 copies of Dune by Frank Herbert. Again, I have a problem. That's what these videos are telling you. But that one is going to my son to hopefully one day he will pick that up on his own volition and read that. It might be a pipe dream, but I think back when I was 11, I didn't think I'd be reading Dune at 15. So things can and will change, but this is just an awesome, awesome set, guys. It's absolutely stunning. The artwork on the slip sleeve is just amazing, as well as the inside. I'll go ahead for the sake of this. Yes, it does have, no, it doesn't have designs in there. That's the Folio Society of Game of Thrones, Song of Ice and Fire that had that on the inside. But they all have the blue edges. That's one. The only knock I have on it is I was hoping that each one was going to kind of have different sprayed edges. But again, if you're going with that Fremen blue color, I guess it's fine. It's fine by me. Blue sprayed edges are better than no sprayed edges. But yeah, these are absolutely glorious. They got like that foil finish, so they almost look like they glow. It's really cool. Made me think of like baseball cards I got when I was a kid. You know, those reflective ones. Really, really great stuff. And of course, there is artwork on the inside, which I'm guessing you guys probably want to see. Here we go. We got the Guild Navigator. You know, stuff like that. Pick these up, guys. They're worth it. They are absolutely worth it. They're stunning. They're gorgeous. If you haven't read them, this is the perfect edition I think that you would probably want to read from. Because, guys, it's just awesome stuff. So many people will tell you, don't pay attention to the Dune sequels, only read the first one, and don't ever pick them up. I disagree. I just say if you're going to commit to reading the Dune sequels, commit to reading both Dune Messiah and Children of Dune. Because if you read just Dune Messiah as a sequel to Dune, you're probably going to come away a little disappointed, because I do feel like this is one story here. So that is my recommendation. I've talked about it before. I've talked about Dune so many times on this channel that I think that you guys know that by now. But in case you are rather new, I wanted to go ahead and get that in again. So yes, these are very much worth the purchase. Pick them up immediately. So how about some stuff I got from some authors this month? Did get some nice things. Guys, I want to say again, I don't know a ton about these. A lot of these are self-published authors that are new to the game and they're still getting their story out there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a link down below if you want to check them out. And that will be the best way to go about it. But I will always say, guys, like I do to all self-pubs, all indie authors out there, chase your dreams. I do encourage you to do that because every author that we love at one point was self-published or looking to get signed somewhere, and I am very, very happy to help them support that dream on the channel here. First thing I got is The Legends of the Brave Bard by C.T. Janes. Whoop. Got your notes still in there. Again, I like the simplistic cover. It's really, really cool. Sometimes I think less is more on covers like these. Please do less. I think that they don't need to be super, super fancy to get the point across. This is Junk World, The Ballad of Leroy Brown by M.K. Stangland Jr. Yeah. And again, nice note. Thank you very much. I appreciate what you told me there. This one is called The Shadow of Theron, Age of Shadows, Book 1, Catherine Troy. This looks like those M.A. Garrick books. You guys know what I'm talking about? Am I saying the right author? You know what I'm talking about. If you've seen those covers with the masks on them, you know what I'm talking about. That's what it makes me think of. Or that new Tad Williams, which is not anything that we want to talk about. But I did get your note inside. Thank you. This one is called Jiggly Spot. Jiggly Spot. That's great, right? P.D. Oliva. Jiggly Spot. And the Zero Intellect. It looks like it's got a big scary clown. So, you know, there's that. If you're into scary clowns. I mean, you know, my second favorite book of all time is about a big scary clown. This one has a great title. Great title by Robert Sheeg. Hope I'm saying Sheeg right. The Ubiquitous They. That is a slick cover. I like it a lot. And it's a great title. Really, really is. I Am the Blackness in the Starlit Sky. Yeah, very well put together, and I do appreciate your note. Thank you. I love the personal notes. They're really, really great. This last one is actually one that was for a Kickstarter. This is by Martha Carr. It's called Amon. It is Queen of the Flightless Dragon, book number 1. She's actually doing a Kickstarter for this, but the thing is it already funded. She already made her funding. She's already hit her stretch goals, but there are still copies available. So I'm going to include her Kickstarter down below. Really, really well put together set. Thank you for your card. I appreciate it. But this is just gorgeous, guys. It really, really is. So I hope you guys will check out her Kickstarter. It looks like it's got a lot of support. And she's a fellow Texan. So I obviously want to give Martha a shout out here. And Martha, thank you so much for sending this to me. This is a really, really nice hardcover. So thank you guys who continue to send me these things. I do appreciate it. And what I always say is I might not have the time right now, but you never know down the road. I mean, I've read more self-pub this year than I think I've ever read. You know, I'm about to start my third Ryan Cahill book. I read Rob J. Hayes' Never Die. So I'm always open to these things. It just might not be right now because the schedule is a little backed up. But again, thank you so much for thinking of me, and I hope I can give you a hand there. How about a couple things for some publishers here? The first one's called The Robots Stop Caring by Christopher Stauber. It looks very Philip K. Dickish. Dickish, you like that? That's a fun word, ain't it? With these guys, I assume that they're from the publishers because they came without a note. So if it was actually from the individual author, I do apologize. But it comes without a note, I'm always just going to assume that that's what it is here. I put this the wrong way. This is The Sword of Mercy and Faith, Swords of Dominion, book number 1 by N.C. Kousis. Kousis, am I saying that right? M.C. Kousis? Very, very cool. This makes me think of the cover of Rose Madder by Stephen King. If you've read Stephen King, you understand what that's about. This is The Quasi-Daisy by M.K. Bingman. Very, very cool. That's an actual naked hardcover. Very, very, very nice. Again, another one with an awesome name. This is by C.E. McGill. It's called Our Hideous Progeny, and that is a stunning cover. Again, I feel like I've heard that title, and I probably heard the name as well. But yeah, this is a very, very cool name, and I do like that. I do. You guys have got some really good titles, and I continue to talk about the artwork on these. Just gets better and better. And then, of course, another nice naked hardcover. This is The Return of the Knights by Gregory Contaxis. And I've seen that one floating around book Twitter lately, which if you don't know, guys, book Twitter is the champion of self-pub. They really, really are. So if it's floating around there, I feel like that's where it has gotten its life from. That's where I've seen a lot of it from. But this is a very, very nice put together hardcover. I do appreciate that so much. So if it was, like I said, if it was the author, not the publisher, my apologies, but it matters not to me. I do appreciate you thinking of me. And again, like I said, I never say never. We'll see what happens. There was one more thing I got from a publisher. Actually, two more things. I got my Bain mailer, which I'll talk about in a second. But I want to talk about, I got The Will of the Many, the E-Arc from James Islington, with a little bit of a nudging from Petrick, who is super tight with James Islington. He actually got in touch with me and said, I don't know what's going on with Saga Press, why they weren't able to get you an E-Arc, but here, let me get you in touch with someone. And the actual editor of Saga Press has been emailing me back and forth wanting to know what the holdup is, what's going on. NetGalley's got some things going on right now. I don't know. It's this whole review copy thing is still a mystery to me 4 years into doing this. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. But thank you for sending me that copy of The Will of the Many. I can't wait to read it. I love Lycanius, so I'm looking forward to it. I do have my schedule already in stone right now, so it'll probably would be June at the earliest when I am able to get to The Will of the Many. But I've heard from numerous people that they think it is a better start than Lycanius was, which is just great because I thought the first book in Lycanius was excellent. So I'm very, very anxious to see what he does going forward. A couple of books from Bain, like I talked about. I don't really know very many of these authors, so I will just let you take a peek, and you can make a decision if you are interested in any of these on your own. Very good. So Bain, again, they are the most awesome people out there, and they are going to be bringing over Christopher Rocchio back as a publisher, letting him finish Sun Eater over there. So I feel like that relationship with Bain is going to get better and better. They definitely seem to care about their writers, and that is what is something that I feel like is kind of starting to get lost, it seems like, in the publishing business, is that they're not really giving very much special attention to their best authors. But it does seem like that Bain really does take care of their own. And I'm hoping they can get me in touch with Timothy Zahn. I really would love to talk to Timothy Zahn as a big Star Wars fan. But again, that's just kind of me just rambling here. How about some viewer stuff, guys? Believe it or not, I didn't get any books from viewers this month. None. didn't receive a single book from viewers, but I did receive a couple of things this month. I got my card from my pen pal Judy. I'm glad that you like Tawny, or you're starting Tawny Man. You'll have to let me know how Tawny Man works out for you. I liked Tawny Man, I just didn't love it. Sheila sent me a really nice note and saying that she had Dune on her TBR for decades. And she just never could really pull the trigger until she found my channel and she watched my video of why you should read Dune. And so she went ahead and said she would go ahead and pick it up and give it a shot. And she loved it. And to say thank you, she wanted to send me a nice coffee mug. And this mug is great, guys. You might have seen me use it in videos recently. One side says House Atreides with the house sigil there. And then, of course, House Harkonnen on the other side with their sigil. And when it gets hot, well, let me show you. It was actually pretty good timing there because, if you guys can tell, I'm fighting the throat crud again, so I needed another tea anyway. So obviously the House Harkonnen, see if I can do this without spilling it and burning myself. The House Harkonnen side then turns to the House of Tyranny. And of course, you can see the Sardaukar down there. And then, of course, over here you get Paul with the Fremen at the bottom. Paul in the desert with the spice. Yeah, so really awesome mug. I don't know how much you can actually see here, but really, really awesome mug. So thank you, Sheila, for the note. Thank you for this awesome mug because I've been using it nonstop. This has become like my permanent tea mug, and I've obviously been dealing with this stuff the whole time, so it's really, really great. Lastly, guys, I did get a chair from EWin, and I got to kind of talk about this chair. We're going to have to break the standard format and kind of show you from a first-person perspective to kind of give you a full view of what all this chair does. So let's do that now. Okay, guys, so this is the EWin Flash XL Size Series Ergonomic Office Chair. This thing is a beast. It is actually quite stunning if you see it in person. And I have another chair, racing chair. It's pretty nice, but it was nice like this. Look, this here is steel reinforcement. So really the problem with my old one is the wheels broke off. This, no, it's steel. It's reinforced. The wheels are not going to break off. The other one, I had it on a runner track. It's still, the wheels broke off. But this, guys, is so well put together. It's incredibly sturdy. It has an actual, now look, I misbehaved on my vacation a little bit, but not quite as much as, you would worry about this. But it has a 550-pound weight limit. It has these really nice pillows for lumbar support. I have the bad back, so that helps out a lot. But it has like this gold color. It's like this glittering gold, and I know people hear like glitter and they think, that sounds kind of tweener or something. What is that? No, it's almost like a sports car. Like it has like that finish on a sports car with the gold glitter. It's really gorgeous, guys. It really, really is. I can't say enough about how beautiful this is. If you can actually see it with your naked eyes instead of my camera here, you see how gorgeous it is. But I love reading in this thing because, you got the lumbar, you got the neck support, and you can kind of move that however you want. I have the lower back problems, the disc problems, so that's really, really great for me when using this for work. But again, with reading, using this here to move this around the way I want, because the chair leans all the way back, it's really, really awesome. Look, I said 40 armrests, so you can really just move these any way that you want to. You really can make this just however you want. And guys, one thing that I think that we can all agree on here is we all love saving money. So if you're interested in this chair and you've got the extra money to spend, I do have an affiliate link and a discount code down below. You can get 20% off on this chair. And guys, trust me, it's worth it. I feel like Captain Picard when I sit in this chair, guys. I feel just like I'm sitting here on the Starship Enterprise and I'm like engaged. It really is just that cool of a chair. I love it. I can't get enough of it, guys. I still prefer to read physically. And every time I read physically with a hardcover, I like to read at my desk here. And this chair is the one that I do it in. And yeah, I read this thing for about 2 hours the other night. And I could not get enough of it. So it's a hell of an upgrade. And I love it so much. So I want to thank EWin for sending this to me and letting me try it out and show it to you guys here. Because I think that if you can't afford it, this is a very, very good upgrade that I think anyone would probably be able to take advantage of, especially if you work from home or if you like to read at a sitting position that isn't a recliner. This is it. And that's it for April, guys. So again, I want to say thank you to everyone who sent me things in April. I do appreciate you more than you can ever know. I cannot say thank you enough, and I really, really do appreciate it. I'd be interested in hearing what you guys added to your home library in the month of April. Hell, go ahead and tell me what you picked up in May. I know I picked up a couple things in May already because this is the business that we've chosen. So drop in the comments and let me know, guys, and I will talk to you there.